Hey everybody, so what is the difference between an interdimensional and a galactic? Now, the first thing we have to remember is these are labels, they have definitions. You can get different definitions depending on who's speaking the label, what it means to them, their experiences, all that. So, labels are a tricky thing with the human language and the perspectives that people have. So, from my definitions, my standpoint, galactic is something of an origin based word, meaning that we are on Earth and anything outside of Earth, outside of the planet of Earth, is a galactic. So if they are in the solar system, if they are in the Milky Way, if they are in the Andromeda galaxy, they all fall under that term galactic. They're outside of our world. Now, think about that for a second when I say labels and perspective and stuff. To other beings, we are galactics because we are from another world in that situation. So, but to us, those beings outside of our Earth are the galactics, but we are technically galactics as well. It's just a word to describe beings that are outside of Earth. Now, I use that term more frequently because my guides asked me to. For some reason, there's something going on in the collective that they want to describe galactics separately. And we used to use the word extraterrestrial. We used to just use extraterrestrial. Now, alien is something a lot of people use. Most beings don't like that term because it comes with a lot of negativity to it. And it's not really accurate in any in the case anyway. So galactic or alien is one that if you're using that, try to move to something else like extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial, now that means extra to Earth or extra away from Earth is what I used to use it just to describe galactics, because most people, if you say extraterrestrial, they think of a galactic. They think of a being from space. So that word resonates for them. But there's a separation for a reason. Extraterrestrial means extra Earth, extra to Earth, means they are beings existing on Earth that we do not necessarily have awareness of yet. They're existing right beside us, physically existing right beside us, interdimensionally existing right beside us, extraterrestrial, extra to the Earth, inner Earth beings, beings living in the tunnels, the cave systems, the pockets of Earth in the oceans, beings living in other dimensions alongside us. These are extraterrestrial beings. Now, interdimensional is another one that was asked. What does interdimensional mean? So to me, interdimensional means a being who lives beside us in another dimension and can cross back and forth. So they are like your Sasquatches, your fairies, your dragons, different beings of that nature that can cross back and forth through different dimensional spaces. They are interdimensional. They exist and live in another dimension alongside humanity. And that dimension can be a world, it could be a part of this world that is a different vibration, and we simply can't see them because of the way our eyes work with light spectrum. We only see a fraction of the light spectrum. So they might exist right beside us and we can't see them. So you could apply that to them. But also it is more accurate from my standpoint to apply it to those who exist in another dimensional world. So another dimensional world, meaning the Earth is a ball of consciousness. My Sasquatch guides explained it in this manner to me. It's a ball of consciousness. It has layers. It has layers like an onion. Each layer is a different world. So you have our world, you have the fairy world. Some fairies exist very close to our world and our layer. Others exist on a completely different layer, which is like another world. It's like Alice in Wonderland going through the rabbit hole, or somebody going through a wormhole and coming out into another world that is physical. These are other worlds, but other versions of Earth, you might call them, but other states of existence on Earth as we exist here too. Those layers are in the ground, in the sky, and right beside us. So beings from those are interdimensional in that they can come back and forth. They're not necessarily galactic. Sasquatch is here. Now, there is an argument to be made for Sasquatch being galactic, but most of them living here now are interdimensional and exist on Earth. And then you have other beings too that do that as well. And you also have extra dimensional, which is another term. Now, extra dimensional to me is kind of the same thing as interdimensional, but more advanced. Beings who are far more advanced, that are huge, huge collections of consciousness and energy with power beyond our scale and our comprehension. So typically when people describe extra dimensional, my mind goes to beings I've met who are on the other side of the universe, who are far more ancient than you can imagine, who are far more powerful than you can imagine, and essentially don't even have physical form. They're just big balls of light, big balls of energy, stars and stuff. And they can cross dimensions, they can time travel, they can do everything and anything you can think of because they're so consciously powerful. That's the term to me. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that to everybody. To some people, extra dimensional just means interdimensional, galactic, all these other things. Same with interdimensional, galactic, extraterrestrial. It depends on who you're talking to. So it's very important to understand when you are talking to a person and they use the word extraterrestrial, do they have the awareness that extraterrestrial also means beings of Earth? A lot of people don't. A lot of people think it just means galactics. So when they talk about their experiences and they're talking about extraterrestrials, they're specifically talking about galactics, beings from space, beings from other planets. They're not talking, and it's an activation. It's be aware. These are activations. Being aware of these different layers, being aware of galactics, all those are activations. There are people out there that believe in the interdimensionality of Earth, but don't believe in galactics, don't believe the benevolence of galactics and these other things. There are people out there that believe in galactics, but don't believe in fairies, don't believe in Sasquatch, and that. There's an activation process that people have to go through energetically in an awareness to understand this. So when you're talking and having a conversation with somebody, it's important to understand and get a baseline. What are their experiences? And when they say extraterrestrial, who are they referring to? What are their experiences? When they say alien, a lot of people that still use the word alien apply it to everything. They're like, I saw an alien. Okay, well, what did you see? And then they describe it, and it could be a Sasquatch, it could be a goblin, a troll, a giant. It could be anything that is not a galactic, that is not of outside of Earth. But they assume it's alien, they assume it's an extraterrestrial in their definition or a galactic because they have no awareness of anything else. So that's the point, is labels are confusing, they can be destructive to conversation, they can create division, all this. All you need to understand is that all of these beings and possibilities exist. You're only limited by your mind, by the belief systems you have in place and the limits you place on your mind. And when you're talking to others, know what their limits are. Where are they at consciously? Are they able to even talk to you about galactics? A lot of people aren't. They can't even handle it, but they can talk about fairies. They believe in fairies, but they might not believe in Sasquatch. It's very fascinating to see how all of these beings, all of these realms are activations. You have to be activated and ready and willing to be aware and be able to accept them into your reality. And then as you accept them and grow, the labels go out the window because you realize the labels can't even cover the vastness of beings who exist out there. So let me know if you have any questions. Much love and gratitude.